Oh,
Yeah,
you want
sure.
to commentate on this game with us?
Oh yeah, I said I wasn't gonna commentate. I'm gonna actually take a step back from this game.
Right, but I think let's do this one with you, Gator, because I think Four Lights is not a spectator here.
Gotcha. Oh, true.
Oh,
Well,
that's right. Yeah, that's
yes,
right.
we'll get you in for the next
At
one.
the next game.
Okay, so we can see here a drone is in Tiny's tanks, and so if that tank is not attacked, then the drone will stay alive. Luckily, Tiny smartly used this bunker to bunker up and was able to use the conscripts and then destroy the tank. Tiny is 8 years old, and Tiny is, I've already seen great improvement out of her. She will continue to improve. And it's great to see her, learning the macro on the back end, maintaining her economy, really staying in this fight against Strife. Right now, he has the tank advantage. We'll see if he's able to make it work and send it downfield, or we'll see if he plays it a little more passively. Now, it looks like he is heading for an attack. We can see that he stays out of the range of these bunkers. We see Tiny putting up some base defense. We got a sentry gun here and a sentry gun here. And now has 4 oils out. We can see 4 oils or 5 oils for Strife. Okay, we got these Rhino tanks and some fodder, a couple dogs in the mix. In the meantime, Tiny knows the attack is on its way, and she's built a bunch of sentry guns to try to stop that attack, and now moving her tanks in position. And actually made Strife retreat. Strife decides to gear up a bunch of drones. However, these sentry guns and these bunkers will take care of these drones. I don't know if any of them would be able to get in, actually. Thanks for the follow, Mousy Minka. Appreciate it. But does smartly use these drones to take these crates. These are money crates. You can see that'll help Strife's economy significantly. Now, Strife
Strife is
already...
stacking up, by the way.
Yes, go
I
for it.
think we can expect a Kira very soon. I suspect that that's what the drones are for. But let's see about that.
Let's see. Okay, Tiny up with a second war factory that will help her production. She's now caught up and on 2 war factories, just as Strife is on 2 war factories. Now, teching up can be a blessing and a curse, because as you build the battle lab, you get access to a lot more units, but it also means you have to try to balance to do a lot more things if you're not just going straight rhinos and war factories. So for beginning players, honestly, it's probably easiest to just keep it simple. Oh, here come drones. A drone attack. A lot of these drones are going to get in. Oh, it looks like 5 or 6 drones get in. Strife
Nice.
decides to try to move in. More drones on the back end.
Well, those tanks are done. I mean,
That wipes
yeah,
out the
basically
entire
his
army.
whole army.
Now,
And now there's nothing to support those Kiros. However, Tiny does not have any anti-air.
yet,
So, oh, all right. Here
okay, here they
comes.
come. The flak track's coming to defend. In the meantime, we can see there's actually no tanks on the back end here for Strife. We'll see if he's able to rebuild his tanks up here, but Tiny with significantly out-tanking him with really well-used drones. Oh, this Kirov, it's going after the MCV. Now, when someone goes to attack your MCV, you can do exactly what Tiny does
That's
here.
the pro move.
She
All right,
unpacks the
well
MCV,
played,
moves it
Tiny.
away to safety, and while you can't build any buildings while that MCV is undeployed, you can bring it back, and when you deploy it again, you'll be able to build buildings again. So you're able to deploy it. In the meantime, we can see these
I think Tiny
Kirovs.
now doesn't find the space to deploy that MCV. So right now, Tiny doesn't have the chance to build anything. That MCV needs to maneuver somewhere where there are not that many units and buildings around, so it can be deployed. It needs that space.
There we go.
That's right. All right.
She gets it deployed and still has the lead here on tanks. There is a Desolator out there, and the best way to kill Desolators, with a drone. So we'll see if she ends up sending a drone out there to kill Strife. Now, one thing you'll see with a lot of newer players is it's hard to balance doing what you're doing back home and also checking in with the other player and seeing the situation there. So you can see Tiny at some point had a significant take advantage after destroying Strife's whole army, but Tiny was making sure to defend against those Kirovs. And so it's hard to do that at the same time as sending your other tanks downfield to destroy the other person's army. Oh, here we can see these tanks are droned, these drones get in.
And he's building a ton of drones. And here's the thing, Strife currently, where his tanks are, They could be well protected because he has the sentry guns out, he has the Tesla coil out, and those tanks are also full of conscripts. So some of those drones are not getting through, but some of them actually did. I think if Strife positioned his army a little bit differently, then those drones would have had no chance at all. But we see a lot of Kirovs out right now. However, Tiny has everything to be able to match those Kirovs. They're not going to make it. Ooh, but the drones get in, alright.
Yeah, Red is 8 years old. That is correct. 8 years old. I think playing this game for about a month, maybe 2 months. Maybe she's played a little more. I'm not sure, but I know as far as Blitz, I believe she first started playing Blitz about a month and a half ago. So Rick Dangerous has been doing some great coaching on his own because oh, and here we go, significant tank lead here
Tiny
for
goes in.
Tiny. She sends them downfield. Strife, we'll see if Strife is able to defend. Getting the drones out, which is what he wants to do. He doesn't have the tanks to defend, so he brings the drones out to defend. Tiny goes, takes a war factory, goes after another war factory. We do see a couple base defenses out. These Tesla coils doing work. Tiny reroutes around the Tesla coils, takes out another war factory. The rhinos are going down, but she still has a significant advantage. Only one rhino here on the defensive end. We'll see which her target is next. Her tanks take out, again, these remaining rhinos. Going after another war factory. Okay, Strife smartly moving this Deso in to defend. Another war factory goes down. Tiny's on the radiation, but rhino tanks are heavy enough to deal with some radiation. They will start popping over time. She reroutes them around the radiation onto the backside, going after the MCV. There is no more war factory production by Strife, and she has this elite rhino. Elite rhinos are great because they can kill Desos with one hit.
And just like that, Tiny takes it home. Well played, Tiny.
Really well done. And what I said about tech being a blessing and a curse, I think this is a perfect example. Strife had a tank, even if you, like, to Luke's point, like, if you want to improve at Red Alert and no one else is online and you go into a 1v1 game with a computer, you want to turn it from 60 speed to 45 speed so it more mimics regular gameplay, and then just keep on speeding up how fast you're building up your tanks and units. That would be a huge difference, right, Luke? That would on its own probably take you and significantly improve your gameplay.
Yeah, usually it happens for a new player when you trying to attack someone with a group of tank, and you start to forget your builds. you know, you just attack, and then you come back to your base, you realize, oh, I'm not building tanks.
Exactly.
That's one common mistake people make.
Yep.
So let's see here. So Red made a bunch of conscript and 6 dog. So that's a little bit much, but consider they are D5.
Yeah, so
it's probably fine.
from a dog's perspective, my beginner suggestion is usually to build 3 dogs, especially a blitz, and you can just send 1 to each corner and 1 right down into your opponent's base. And then when they get to the corner, you just make them head towards your opponent's base as well.
Yep.
And that'll be a little more efficient use of money because I think, to your point, Luke, you don't want to ever hit 0, right?
You could hit 0 sometimes. Sometimes it's a must because you are defending and you're out of money. It happens to us all the time for pro player. But I mean, yeah, it depends on situation.
Gotcha.
Like if you have a lot of warback, your tank production is really fast. You can easily hit 0 many times. So don't worry too much about it.
Okay, that's a good suggestion. Yeah, because I think that's actually a good
So,
point.
so look at this placement for the tech building. The battle lab is way in the front line, so it's not a good place to place the battle lab right here. I mean, yellow could do better by placing the battle lab right by the MCV, so it's safer and it's less exposed. So that's just one suggestion I have.
Yeah, and the battle lab is the weakest building in the game. It only takes a few hits, maybe 6 or 7 from rhino tanks to destroy it. So you really, to Luke's point, it's one of those, if you get in the habit as you're playing, is always making sure your battle lab's built right next to your MCV. Little adjustments like that could be the difference between winning and losing a game.
Yeah.
You see here, Clark hitting 0. Clark is on 3 oils, so 3 oils generally not enough for 2 war factories. Would you say the rule of thumb is maybe twice, well, not necessarily twice as many oils, but at least to build 2 war factories, you usually want to have about 4 oils out there, right? Is that right? 4 or 5?
It depends. If you are building stuff, you wanna be 2 extra oil than war factory.
Okay.
But if you wanna just go offense, just making tanks, they could be a 1-to-1 ratio.
Okay. Gotcha.
I mean, I play on 1-to-1 ratio a lot of times, and I don't have money issue.
Okay. That's good to know too. So like by the time you're like 7 oils, 7 war factories, you'll hang in there, provided you're not, spamming out
Yeah.
conscript rushes on the back end and stuff like that.
So so a suggestion for Red right now, Clark should really go offense. You have like so many tanks.
Yes.
Oh, attack the tank first. Always attack the tank first when you are in a battle. Don't try to push the building. Okay, that's over. The game is over.
Yes, but that's a good tip too. It's so easy to see that building and you want to attack the building. The way that you win the game is, the easiest way to win the game is destroy all of your opponent's tanks, and then from there you'll have plenty of time to destroy all the buildings, right? So for newer players,
Yeah, like when you have 5-to-1, what we have just before, you should click the tank first, because when you kill the tank, you can still kill the building. There's nothing for the opponent to defend it. But if you're in your base trade, you wanna focus on the building.
yeah, so here we can see Rick smartly uses drones. When another player's out-tanking you that severely, your only Hail Mary opportunity is to build drones. Here, he was still able to obviously destroy a ton of buildings. But,
Good move here.
and the reason for that is this. If you have 1 tank against 5 tanks, you have basically a 0% chance of killing those tanks, because they're each going to get 1 hit on you and your tank's going to be destroyed. But if you have 1 drone against 5 tanks, that drone will often get in and destroy a tank. So it's a way that's why they're so important. It's a way to start thinning out your opponent's army, where you just can't do it if they have that many more tanks than you. And we can see that's what's working here. These drones got in, and then if they don't even destroy the drones, they end up taking another tank next to it. So the whole army of Clarks got destroyed. This might give Rick a chance to come back here. These D5 games, they can be crazy on you.
The player are nearer than expected.
Here come the
I thought they
V3
at least know,
rockets.
at least know to force attack the tank to get rid of the drone.
Right, right. Yep. And I mentioned that earlier in the stream. You want to take your tanks, you want to hold control, and when you hit the control key, to allow your tank to attack your own unit. And then you can attack the tank that is droned and destroy it. That will not only destroy the tank, but it'll also destroy the drone inside, so it won't be able to kill another one of your units. Yeah, V3, this is the only the entertainment you can get from D5 is a bunch of V3s out here looking to do some damage.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys are doing this. You're getting a lot of new players to the community. It's a good thing.
Yeah, Capn Skunk's idea, I give Capn Skunk the credit on it as well. I wanted
Always a
to
team effort, boys. Always a team effort.
Yeah, to the
This
credit of...
this game is old and it's dying. We
Yeah.
need new people.
Oh, these V3s, they're going after this MCV. They could get it. Oh, those V3s are going to get the MCV. Oh my gosh. And so Clark
Alright,
knows
just push.
his MCV is
It's over.
destroyed. It's time. He's got these conscripts in position. And while he has attacks with the conscripts, he also takes the tanks to destroy these buildings. And here we go. The MCV goes down. No more buildings to be built. Takes out that power. Barracks and oil. Okay.
Luke!
Doof is here. Hey, Doof.
Ooh,
Yo,
What's
yo, yo! I've missed you, bro! It rhymes.
wanna do some blitz? I can teach you some blitz.
Sure you can, bro.
Level.
Let's go. Who we got here? I don't know these people.
I
Well,
don't
yeah,
know
because they're
either.
new. That's the whole point, Doof. So we have Zora here in the bottom right with Soviet, and we have Klaas going allied actually in red on the top left-hand side.
Klaas. Sounds Dutch. Sounds
It
very
is Dutch. So Zora, if I'm correct, is from Germany. Klaas is from Dutch. So we have ourselves a nice, Western European battle.
All right, let's see here. Drone versus GI is not a good idea.
Deploy. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
And
GI rush. Love to see a bunker here.
Don't need
It's
a
gonna be
bunker.
late though. The GIs
use
are already
the
there.
Just use the tank. Squish them.
Sentry and squish them. Oh!
Squish them. Oh. Use the tank to squish them.
Yeah.
So
Zora,
here-
if you have your tank and you press Alt, then it's going to squish the infantry units. Just
Yeah.
like that.
just like that.
Well done.
Just like
Alright, it's not too bad. He needs to repair his power though. Okay.
Doof, how would you defend the GI rush with Soviet?
Soviet bunker.
that.
I would spend I would spend a bunker just for a choke point to put it right there. I don't like GI rushes. I'm a firm believer that Allied has been made so OP in Blitz. If you look at the special country units, right? The Soviet only has this desolator. A demolition truck doesn't work most of the times. Terrorists, you don't use them. What else do you have? And then Allied has paradrops, has Black Eagles. And you know what? Let's give him a bunker to build an extra Black Eagle. Why not, boys? Let's see, what else do they have? Tank destroyers. They're all units that they can build and they can use, and the Soviet is only left with desolators. That's my opinion, boys.
So Luke,
So-
how about what's your take on it, and how would you defend the GI
So
rush?
demolition truck is pretty helpful. It's actually a very useful unit if you use
Bro,
it
before
right.
that truck gets out of the war factory, a Black Eagle has sniped it already in your own base.
No, when you have 7 war factory and spamming demolition truck waypoint to enemy base, it's just crazy. You can't.
It's
you
just
can't
crazy, but
actually-
if you're
If
talking
one-
about
if
the
one
lower
don't have
D,
it's
the
a big
lower
difference.
divisions, they're not useful at all. Maybe the
Yeah.
pros,
No.
but the lower division, I don't know. Tank destroyers are OP, boys. And
GI
look at that,
rush?
four eagles out already, boys. Let's go. Let's start
Zora,
sniping
you
buildings.
need to start building some air defense. Go stationary air defense, go flag tracks, anything to stop those Black Eagles. They're going to wreak havoc. And there you go.
Oh, hold
So
up!
out of the-
Snipers! I forgot about snipers, boys.
Ooh.
OP snipers against the Desolator. You know what? Desolators are useless now.
That's
Well,
what it is. It's pretty
There's
useless.
always the Deso bomb.
better
I mean,
gun.
there's what, 4 snipers now out?
I'm coming in here to call this out.
Let's go, Ivor.
Yo, Ivor.
Let's go.
You're
There's a
stat-
power drop in the back. Let's go, power
love the
drop.
stats. Your stream's all about the stats. What's Allied have? They got Eagles, they got snipers. They have less than a 50% win rate. They have less than a 50% win rate. They are not the OP faction. Look at the stats, dude.
Bro, I'm talking about these lower division boys.
In lower divisions, the players are never OP with Allied. It's even worse. It's at the higher divisions, Allied's more likely. Dude, come on, man. Look at the numbers.
Bro, Allied is so OP, dude. It's just
Look at the stats. They win less than 50% of the time in all the divisions.
nah. It's not true, bro. It's not true.
Maybe they're OP versus you, dude. If they're OP versus me, I can't stop the GI rush.
Easy. If
No,
this-
dude.
There's
I'm
a lot
kidding.
more you can do with Allied, bro. There's
I
a lot
know.
more you can do with Allied.
And honestly, I know, and honestly, it's really frustrating. But I will say the stats are there. They don't win more than 50% of the time. That's
Doofus,
where
you
it's
just-
at, man.
Doofus, you just suck at the game.
What the fuck is this, boys?
I come in and just ambush Doofus. No, I'm sorry, Doof. You're right. Allied is super strong in Blitz, and I think they're getting better as the meta develops. All right, sorry, I didn't mean to hijack this, but right now, it's not more than a 50% win rate. The factions are even statistically. That's all I'm going to say. I think it's going to get worse. I think Allied is going to become OP, but statistically, it's not there, Doofus.
Nah, but just if you look at it, if you play Allied correctly, bro, Allied is OP because they can just sit. They have a better defense structures than the Soviets as well. As soon as the game goes longer than 5 minutes, a sitting Allied player can just win.
Nah,
just
fucking
almost
fucking
instant.
gonna come to the field and Ally is trash. I'm telling you.
Doofus
Fine,
just
look,
built an
we will-
IC. He just
We
spent
will
wall factories.
We will agree to disagree, but I firmly believe that an Allied player can get OP, and it's
Well,
very OP.
I think it's possible I think it's very possible that the meta develops. I think maybe in 3 or 4 months, it's possible that I might have to nerf Allied if it keeps progressing at this rate. But I'm just saying right now, regardless of the level and almost regardless of the map, Allied, it's about 50-50. Usually it's better for Soviet. But statistically speaking, and we have a lot of games to look at, there's very few where Allied is better. But it certainly seems like that. And I do think that I do think it's going to be possible that I do have to nerf Allied eventually, but statistically, we're not there yet. I don't know, Doof. I don't know.
No, but there's a few maps where if you play Allied correctly, a Sov player can do shit against it.
There is a couple
Yeah.
older maps. Yeah, like Yin Yang, for example. Yin Yang's like way Allied favorite.
And then you have. Oh, look
Let me
at
just
that
point
demolition.
out something. Luke, what you said about the demo trucks,
Oh,
I
that
think
paragraph.
Zora took that too hard.
Because you don't know how to play Soviet correctly, Doofus. If the Allied make Black Eagle, you make. If they make 8 Black Eagle, you make 16 Flag Track. There's nothing Allied can do. So for the demo track, as soon as you make it, you should waypoint to enemy base.
Yeah, but
And-
you see what's going on in this game though.
I'll just ask you a question then.
The demolition
Luke
truck
or
are not
Luke-
getting any value in this game.
Well, not on this level maybe, but so how would you counter with Soviet the Mirage tanks? That could be a common question for the lower ranked players. Because what's happening right now, Zora is losing a lot of rhinos, and what I think Zora is doing is obviously pressing control and just, one by one attacking the Mirages. So
Yeah,
how would
that's
you
the only way.
guys counter Mirages with Sov?
That's the only way, unfortunately. So
Oh, that's a
Mirage is
bomb. I don't know.
Belgian team.
Deso bomb, I think you need
bomb
like
is
3
not a
flag
good
tracks
idea
full of
now.
Deso bombs. Who's talking? Is that Luke?
Also Sniper.
Luke.
Luke, you're very quiet, my man. We barely heard what you said. Doofus
didn't hear
saying
Luke.
Personally, I don't like
bombs.
to bomb on Blitz because of Sniper. It's not the solution. The correct solution
What would you
is
do?
the Sentry
Demolish
and
truck.
Reno. Sentry and Reno. That's
Yeah,
what
but
you
that's
can do.
defensive. How can you make an offensive out of it?
You offense with IC.
With IC, yeah. It's
Yeah,
not gonna be
all you
an
do is
option.
spam war factories and spam rhinos, and that's it. And
What?
I find surprising that people countering that as allied.
I'm sorry, what?
Never work actually. Reno.
You spam many war factories and that's it. When you play Blitz.
Because I never played Allied.
No, you just spam war factories and spam rhino tanks. You don't
are you
use
talking
other
about?
units.
Who,
Do you
me?
ever make an IC?
Yes. Why not?
I rarely see it though.
No, that's because when you're playing Sov versus Sov, they would. Okay, look at that.
Deso
Look at that
bomb,
Deso
wait.
bomb. There's
Like
no
it's not-
chance at all.
Well, the other thing, yeah, I mean, the other thing too, for sure, later in the game, Allied is way ahead. I mean, late game, but I mean, Soviet definitely has to win the game early. That's for sure. I mean, at the 10-minute mark, if you go 10 minutes against an Allied player, you should be dead. I mean, it's definitely, the pressure is definitely on Soviet early on to get value. Anyway, Doof, I had to pop in here and mess with you. I love you, Doof. Hey, I love you. The arguments, honestly, it's a fun argument to have. But I just want to point out the fact with the stats right now that it doesn't show that either faction's OP. So I'm going to say, Gator and Skunk, love what you guys are doing, man.